Welcome everybody to our HubSpot user group event today, From SEO to AEO. This is a webinar series that we're running about the shift from SEO to AEO and the change in client acquisition with AI. Today we're talking about Schema Made Simple, all about schema, how to implement it, what it is, how to do it, why to do it, and also how to do it in HubSpot. And it's all about the secrets to being the AI answer today. In the meantime, again, let us know in the chat where you're coming from, what your company is. Let us know what you do. And I'm also putting a question of the day today, which is something that we're trying to learn from you guys as much as possible, how this is a challenge for you. So if you want to share now or throughout the presentation, what is the gap now? How are you moving from SEO to AEO to show up in AI? What are your issues right now? What are your challenges? We want to learn that. Let us know in the chat, and I'll try to answer as many of those as possible. I'll go through some links here that I'm going to share. I'm Gabriel Marguglio. I'm the CEO and founder of Nextiny Marketing. We are a HubSpot solutions partner in Sarasota, Florida, and we serve companies that need HubSpot implementations. We do everything HubSpot: websites, HubSpot marketing, sales alignment. We implement business systems inside HubSpot. We also do heavy website development and SEO over the years, and content creation and everything around it. But now we're an AEO HubSpot agency, and we also do video marketing. So here's some content for you. I've shared my LinkedIn, our website. We have an SEO AEO guide that we just launched, if you want to download it, right there. And we also have some AEO SEO packages. We have some audits. So if you want to check it out, it's right there. So I won't bore you with all the links. The links are there. If you have any other questions, let me know, and I'll share them also at the end of the presentation. Great question, Dana. Is SEO dying? I have a slide for you, Dana. So we'll definitely talk about in a second. Thank you for sharing that. David says, I'd like to learn the essential schema elements. We'll definitely go through that today. New Zealand. Oh, I love so many people from all over the world. I love this. This is awesome. Keep sharing your questions. The different resources, how much to allocate to SEO, how much to AEO. Let's put everybody on mute just in case. There you go. Relevant content on new channels like video. Is it working? Oh, yeah. Alex, Dana, we have all of those are going to be covered today. This is a webinar series. So if you're here today, you may have come to other webinars. I'm going to share the recordings from all the past webinars about AEO to SEO, SEO to AEO. And I'm also sharing right here the next two events that are coming. February 11, Authenticity Win, how to use video to build trust. And February 25th, AI tools every HubSpot marketer should use. So all of that is there. Let's go through the agenda today. I'll do a quick recap on how AI is redefining client acquisition. This is literally everything we've been talking since October. We're going to talk about why schema matters for AEO, schema types every marketer needs, implementing schema with HubSpot. This also applies if your website is not in HubSpot, so we'll help you there too. And then testing and your action plan. So great job, everybody, connecting and also letting us know what your questions are. Keep putting them in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer all your questions and go through all of that. So let's go very quickly. I won't bore you with the recaps here, but it's important to have everybody on the same page here. How is AI redefining client acquisition? So the first thing is search isn't just links anymore, it's answers. AI overview, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, new browsers that are, yes, still using Chrome technology, but they're based on ChatGPT or Perplexity technology, are allowing people to find things through AI. So how do we stay visible in an AI answer first world, right? The shift enhanced a lot of these numbers that were already bad. Google was already doing 0 clicks for everything they could. Before AI, they were putting the content on Google as much as they could. But more than 60% of searches in Google are now 0 clicks. That means they never get to your website. And yes, Nicola, there will be a recording and we'll share that too. 70% of B2B buyers complete their decision journey without talking to sales, without contacting anybody, without going through your website. And this, again, AI is only enhancing that. The good news is that what we are seeing is that 3 times as much higher conversion from leads that come from LLMs and AI. So at the end of the day, yes, you might lose some, or you might shift some traffic from one place to another one, but the visits and the leads coming from AI come more qualified, and they're closing at a higher rate. So AI is becoming your new homepage. Instead of people going to your website, and we'll talk about that. But also your brand needs to be there. It needs to be the answer. It needs to try to manage the control the narrative in AI as much as possible. But also don't freak out. Google's still 210 times bigger than ChatGPT in search. And I'm going to tell you that with what Google is doing with Gemini and what Google's doing with the AI features on the search, we're going back to use Google a lot more. We went from, people went from using Google all the time to moving and asking absolutely everything on ChatGPT. ChatGPT got worse somehow, and now we're going back to Google, or we're using tools like Perplexity. So Gemini is, much, much better than ChatGPT for a lot of things. So Gemini is Google. At the end of the day, if you're optimized for Google and you do the AEO on top, you'll still have a huge source of potential leads there, and things will continue to evolve like that. But just don't freak out. It's huge, and I just share the Search Engine Land study about that. So keep an eye on that. Charlene, yes. No, David, so true. Is Gemini for everything, and Gemini is running in Chrome. So yes, it's making it easier. This reminds me of the days when Microsoft was fighting with Google and the browser fights, and yeah, you're already on Chrome. You're using Gmail. A lot of companies, a lot of people are using all of these tools, and Gemini is making it easier for you. Also, when you Google, Gemini is right there. You have the AI reviews. You have the AI mode. That is still incredibly important, and you should optimize for that, depending on your business. But we use ChatGPT for everything too, and Perplexity is a beautiful tool too. So keep those in mind, and we'll talk more about those. So ultimately, what we're seeing, this is a real example. In this amount of time, this company got 4,000 sessions from organic search, from Google search, and 42 leads from that, and 1 client. And then in the same amount of time, I think it was 3 months, they got 90 visits from AI, 2 leads, 1 client. So higher conversion rates, higher closing rates, because people from AI are coming with a lot more context, a lot more education. They're having full-on conversations. So this is the positive side of AI. There's no replacement of the visits from Google. This is a new source, and if you're using HubSpot, you can see the source and track it inside HubSpot. So quality is important. It's not about quantity anymore. And AI filters a lot of the noise. So to answer one of your questions, is SEO dead, right? Oh, this is another one. And just so you know, this is a great graphic I got from LinkedIn. We've been declaring SEO dead for a decade now. So there's always, something that came. SEO is dead. In 2006, the rise of social media. 2011, Panda update. 2015, RankBrain. There has been huge changes to SEO over the years because of search, and this is a huge one too. And let's say that SEO is more important than ever. On the contrary, SEO is not dead. What's dead is lazy SEO, which is all the tactics and all the things that you were doing to trick Google into thinking you were real and you were doing real things when you weren't. If you're doing real things, AI is going to love you. So we'll talk about that. So what are we doing now? We're doing answer engine optimization. We're doing AEO, which is optimizing not just for Google, but also for AI. And I say that again, not just for Google, but also for AI. Both are very, very important. And I'll be sharing some articles here in a second, where we talk about all of this. Now, the next thing that is very important is that AEO and the AI shift on client acquisition is not just a discovery thing. It's not just where the leads are coming from. It's not just people going to a search, finding you for the first time, and that is what changed. That has changed, but this has changed the whole buyer's journey. People are going through consideration and decision stage. They're going and they're validating, they're vetting you, they're comparing you with all the other solutions, with all the other competitors. They're checking your prices. They're asking if it's real, what you're doing, your product, your service, whatever it is. People are having conversations with AI until the last second of their decision before signing the contract. So even if you were not doing SEO, even if SEO was not important for you, AEO is incredibly important for you, because it doesn't matter where the leads are coming from. At the end of the day, people are going to make decisions, and they're going to be validating you, researching you, and comparing you in AI. That's what makes this such a huge shift. And I'm going to share 3 articles right here. We've been doing these since the beginning of October. And I wrote articles for a whole AEO checklist, so you're not missing anything. I also have one connected with video and the use of video, podcasts, and webinars. So I'm sharing that one too. And I'm also sharing a full-on 90-day AEO plan, month 1, month 2, month 3. These are 3 articles we put together, so you guys can go, and whatever you don't understand from today or whatever you're missing, we're going to go right into schema, which is a little bit more complex. So these are 3 articles that put you up to speed on a lot of these things. Again, let me know if there's any questions. I'll be more than happy to answer a lot right here. So I see, how does this impact local search marketing? Great question, Charlene. Local search is still very important to do schema. It's still very important to do AEO. The fundamentals of SEO did not change. Citations are still the same. The map is still important. Your reviews are still important. And every single thing I just said is important for AEO. So whatever you're doing for local SEO will help your AEO, and whatever you're doing for AEO will help your local SEO. We'll talk about schema for local today, specifically for local. So great question there. I think AI sessions are lower too, because they do the research with AI. And yes, of course. Todd, great point. AI brings people that are qualified. Therefore, a lot of people will disqualify themselves. Well, you actually want them to disqualify. You don't want to have, your salespeople don't want to have 100 conversations a day. They want to close a client a day, 1. If they can have 1 conversation and close it as a client, that is the perfect day for them. So yes, more quality, less quantity. That's not a bad thing at all. We still love, Google and getting a lot of traffic on your website, but a lot of that traffic is not relevant at all. So let's get right into schema. So why does schema matter? So the first thing is, what is schema? I'm going to just go through that in a second. Schema is code on the back of your website that you don't see, that people don't see, but Google and AI models go and look at to understand what the website is about, to understand who and what and how. So first of all, it's code. You're not going to see it on the website. It's going to be in the background, but it has to be code implemented by someone, by a tool, by a module, by a theme, by HubSpot, but it's code in the back. So why is it important for AI? So AI models don't guess the meaning of things. They try to infer it by patterns, probability, evidence. They analyze all these things, and then they decide this is connected to this and this is connected to that. So they rely on structured stuff as much as possible. This was important for Google already, for SEO. If you were doing SEO and you were serious about it, you were doing schema already. And if you aren't, you're not too late. You add schema now, it's going to affect your Google rankings. It's going to get better, and it's going to help you with AI. So at the end of the day, unstructured data is, if you put a bunch of text, AI or Google, they need to go read the whole text, try to understand, try to connect the dots between things, and then say, is this reputable? Try to find trust signals. And then after trying to understand what it is, then they can rank you. Well, if you tell them what things are about and what the connections are about and what the entities, not just keywords, entities, R, which means an entity. The difference between a keyword and an entity is that a keyword is apple. Apple could be many things. The entity apple, the fruit, gives you a lot more context about that keyword. Apple, the company, the tech company, it's a lot more context. So it's content plus context, that's entities. So you want to connect the entities together, and you want to make it easier with structured data to understand. A good example of structured data is a CRM. If you go to a CRM and you have an email, that is unstructured. But if you have a field that says first name or last name or email, the CRM understands that's the first name of the person. So when you're sending an automatic email, you can just take that structured data and use it. Well, structured data on a website, on a blog, on a knowledge base, all of that is telling AI and Google what this is about. What is this connected to? So it's being understood, being quoted, being trusted, because things are connected. It just removes the ambiguity of like, what is this about? What is this connected to? I see some questions. Excited to apply this to our website. What are the best metric to track improvement? We'll talk about that at the end. Facts, the schema was measured for feature snippet. Of course, David, if you wanted to show up in the feature snippet, you needed to tell Google what you were about, what this is about, what this is connected to. Ask ChatGPT to rank your page below 1 out of 10 are, if you give your ranking, then ask what you need to do to make it to 10. Yes and no, Todd. ChatGPT, we have to be careful about AI. And I love that you said that, because yes, we use ChatGPT to ask what the schema is, and we'll talk about that in a second. We ask ChatGPT or any AI, we say, is this blog optimized for humans, for Google, and for AI? And it can rank it, it can tell you what to do, a lot of things. Now, we have to be careful, because a lot of people out there are saying, oh, I know how AI works because I asked AI, and AI told me how it ranks things. It told me how to get to the first position of AI, or first position of Google. And what we need to understand is AI doesn't know anything. It doesn't even know how it works. So I'm gonna pause for a second on the schema, because this is important to understand this whole thing. Google knows things. How does it know? There's a database somewhere with data. There's multiple databases. They're very complex. They're interconnected. They have context. There's AI analyzing it. But when you say, what is the capital of France? Google says capital of France. They're asking for a capital. Google goes to it's not as simple as this. Google goes to a list of capitals of the world. There's all the countries, gets to France, and it says Paris. So it says the capital of France is Paris. And then it'll give you a list of a bunch of articles that people wrote about capitals of the world and stuff like that, right? Well, that is because Google is trying to become the answer, the most helpful answer. That was always Google's goal, is to give you the most related answer to your question. Therefore, it needs to know the truth. In order to know the truth, it needs to have databases and lists and spreadsheets, right, of the data. Now, AI doesn't work like that at all. AI actually doesn't know anything. And if you've ever talked to AI or had a conversation with AI, you know it doesn't know anything, because every once in a while you're like, is the color of the sky green? And AI's like, yeah, it's green because it's beautiful, because of the color of the lights. And you're like, hold on, is that true that it's green? And it's like, oh, my bad. Hold on, my bad? What are you talking about? You're technology. You are a computer responding to me, and you're saying, my bad, I forgot that the sky was blue. This happens all the time with AI. AI hallucinates all the time, and it gives you wrong answers. And when it can't give you an answer, it will try to guess an answer. Does that sound familiar? Humans act that way. So AI doesn't know anything, especially how it runs things and what it shows. Actually, Rand Fishkin did a whole video on an analysis they did. They asked AI a bunch of things, and they had hundreds of people asking the same thing. and AI was giving completely different answers, and they ranked them, and it was like a simple question, like what are the best knives to use at home, like chef knives to use at home cooking, right? And the list was completely all over the place, because when AI responds to the answer to the question, what is the capital of AI? AI does two things. Number one, it doesn't just ask the question, it fans out other queries. This is query fan out. What it does is it decides, okay, what is the capital of Paris? It'll say capitals of the world. What is France? France, and so it'll ask multiple questions to whatever data set they have, and it'll get a bunch of answers and bring you the answer that it decides between all of those. What is the best answer? That's why sometimes you see a chunk from one website with a source and another chunk for another source. That's the fan out that it does. The second thing it does, it just doesn't have it in a database. It says, okay, from all these words, when all of these words, tokens actually, but when all of these words are together, what is the most probable word that will also be together with these? So, oh, it's Paris, but sometimes it's not Paris. It's baguette, right? Like, so it could say baguette, and you're like, are you kidding me? Baguette is not a capital of anything. It's like, oh, sorry, I was drunk with French wine. So literally, AI doesn't know anything. So we have to be careful about asking questions, how AI ranks things, or how AI thinks Google ranks things, because AI doesn't absolutely know anything. If we get that out of the way, thank you, Todd, for the question and the topic, because this is important to understand so we can actually get to the best way to show up in AI, right? Dana says, do you ask schema on the back end through the website? We'll talk about that in a second. Then Christopher, recent repost says, Google AI gives wrong information 60%. Yes, and sometimes even showing up on Google is not even going to make you show up in AI because it's not directly connected. So we'll talk about how schema helps here. So again, going back to schema, and yes, Julian, sometimes it just wants to please you. That is one of AI's goals, is to make you feel understood and heard. It's crazy, but yes, it'll tell you what you want to hear most of the time. So we need to keep that in mind. So why AI needs schema? So it removes ambiguity, and so it understands everything. Now, what does schema actually do for AI? So I'm gonna give this example. Nextiny Marketing is the name of our company. Gabriel Marguglio is my name. We do marketing services. Some of them are AEO, SEO services, video production services. And we answer questions from our clients like, do webinars help with AEO, right? All of those things are on our website. And by the way, most of these things are entities that we want to show up in AI and Google. So we need to be clear how to connect these entities. So when AI is reading our content, it understands that this is content from an organization called Nextiny Marketing, from the author, Gabriel Marguglio, that gives marketing services, that also understands SEO and AEO, and is answering one of their FAQs, which is how webinars help with AEO. So, or are webinars good for AEO, or anything like that. So at the end of the day, schema tells AI who you are, what this page is about, how concepts and entities relate to each other, and what can be trusted and reused. Because at the end of the day, they need to understand the context and have confidence that this is important for the answer. So without schema, AI will guess and forget it. If you're not, controlling the narrative, AI will find the answer somewhere else. Great example of that. If you don't have pricing on your page and other people are talking about your pricing and someone asks about your pricing, AI won't say there's no pricing on their website page, so I can't tell you the pricing. It'll say, oh, some people say they're expensive. Literally, someone else is controlling the narrative. So it's important, because AI takes a consensus of everything that they find online, that you do more reputation management than just SEO, which reputation management could be considered something, a part of SEO, and vice versa, because you need to understand where the narrative is, where the gaps are, how AI is answering these questions. So testing is very important. Going back to this, without schema, it's confused. AI is confused about your services. It's confused about what you offer, where you offer it, how people think about these things. What is, who's the authority in the matter? Is there a person that really knows this? Are they really doing it? Are their clients saying good things? So schema helps for all of that to give the page purpose. What's the purpose of this page on this website? It helps, understand the answers and extract the answers from those pages. And of course, it creates higher citation likelihood. You'll get cited more often because AI understands who you are, what you do, how you do it, et cetera, et cetera. So the connections, the entities are important, and the connections to the entities are important, and schema helps AI understand that. Any questions, guys? And this is an example of schema being used on the website, a YouTube page, a YouTube video, and LinkedIn posts, which are all kinds of different schema on different places. LinkedIn creates their own schema, YouTube creates their own schema in their own platforms, but then you create your own schema on your website. And all of this, by using the right platforms and using the right schema on your website, you could become the answer to AI. And this was our webinars good for SEO or AEO, and we show up with the answer. And the sources are our website, one of our videos on YouTube, and my LinkedIn post. So all of this becomes part of what AI understands. And the only reason why all of these things are sources is because AI understands who I am, what social media I'm connected to, what videos I'm posting, my name, the name of my organization, and then it creates the connection between those things, and it finds content that's relevant and trustworthy, so much so that it becomes the answer for AI. Any questions, guys? I know this is a lot, but I'll keep digging and helping understand. So, David, how is keyword research changing with this in mind? Don't change keyword research at all. Keep doing keyword research. People are searching using more natural language now. Should we get a read on questions they're asking? So 2 things you need to do. Continue to do keyword research. But if if you've been doing keyword research over the years, you've also been talking about long tail keywords all the time, and topic clusters and pillar pages, and creating a pillar page about the main high traffic, high intent keyword that has a little bit of that chunk that you can get from a lot of visits, but then create a topic cluster around that pillar page with a lot of related long tail keywords around it. If you were doing that, you're doing entity understanding, you're doing intent understanding, you're answering your ideal client's questions that are related to that main topic. So just to give you an example, if I create an AEO topic cluster, what is AEO and how to do it will be in the middle. And then it's like, how are videos important for AEO? How are webinars important for AEO? How are schema important for AEO? How to do schema for AEO? Literally, you're answering all your ideal clients' questions around that topic. So you create a cluster of intent, entities, and keywords. That's already SEO. If you were doing SEO seriously, that's already what you're doing. So keyword research doesn't change that much. You need to make sure it's intent and entity based. And then create the content around it. And I'll share a methodology that helps with all of this. David, exactly what I was thinking. Yes. Can users get different answers and sources for the same question? Yes, John, because AI doesn't know anything. So, John, great question. People will get not people. You will go ask AI right now, and then you go ask AI 5 minutes later, and you will get different answers. Now, what's important is to be cited as much as possible. Yes, if you do it right, you can be a consistent answer all the time. Now, with high intent, high traffic, high volume things where there's a lot of competition, the answer will change constantly too. Because if someone posts something on LinkedIn right now that is more relevant to what you post yesterday, that post might show up as the answer for AI. So consistency on this is also very important. But again, this was already a pillar of doing great SEO, which means creating helpful content for your ideal clients on a regular basis. So going back to this, the essentials of a schema stack. So which schema do you need to implement? Because this is the question. There's hundreds of things you can put on your website. Should we put them all? And this is like put them all the keywords on your page, or this is like putting all the cities of your state at the bottom of your site. That's stuffing. Do not stuff your website pages with schema that makes no sense, because Google will penalize you and AI will understand that you're trying to trick them. Tricking them is not what we're trying to do. We're trying to showcase the real connections of real things you're doing, because you're only going to show up in AI if you're doing real things. We'll talk about that in the next slide. So which are the actual schemas that I recommend to, at the beginning at least, all of these need to be done. Organization, which means this is the company, and it has your website, the logo, like a bunch of information, meta description. A lot of that goes into the organization schema. If you are a local business, which means someone you want to show up locally to one of your questions when you do local SEO, there's a local business schema. Now, if your website is done on HubSpot and you use a good theme and you use great modules, most of these things are done already. So I'll show you that in a second, and I'll show you how to test it. So local business is not relevant just if you sell mattresses, right? Like, it's like if you want to be understood as a business in a certain area, I want people locally in our area in Sarasota, Florida, to know we exist and to, buy our services. Therefore, I include the local business. I'm not selling products in a specific area or have a region, but I do want local business too. And local business is sometimes easier to get because I can go shake hands and I can have a meeting. So I do local businesses too. Now, if you're a software company, a SaaS company, that's different. You don't need local business, right? Article or blog, those are very important because it means you're explaining a how-to, you're explaining something. This is an article, read it. And inside the article, there's the title, there's the description, there's all of those things are important. Then author or person is who is writing this. I want my name, Gabriel Marguglio, connected to this article about AEO, because then when I post on social and I also post on YouTube, all these things become interconnected because AI knows it's my company and me writing all these things, and it connects the dots as all the context that it has to make the decision. So you understand how it's more of a network of things that it understands, not just that page in order to rank it, in order to cite it. FAQ page, very important, FAQs, because if you're answering your ideal client's questions on your website, on your blogs, on your webinars, you want the FAQ to be marked as an FAQ. Therefore, if you have an FAQ on a page, if you have questions and answers on a blog, if you have a webinar, a podcast, all of those have questions. Create the FAQ schema, and that's going to allow AI to understand these are questions and answers, which is exactly what AI wants to find on your website. VideoObject helps a lot too. We'll talk about that. It showcases that you're real. Video is your face, your demeanor, your voice. All of these things make you real. In this world where anybody can create anything in 2 seconds with AI, it's very important to prove to AI that you're real. And the easiest way to do that is running webinars like this one, putting videos out there, putting video posts on LinkedIn. All of these are the best signals for AI to understand you're real. And VideoObject tells AI and Google, this is a video. Go watch it. Go read the transcript. So I see some questions here. Does organizations on local business schema go on every page or just certain ones? Great question. I would put those two on every page. I wouldn't have a problem with that. That's not stuffy. Now you don't have to put it on every blog and every FAQ. Like all your main pages should definitely have local business and organization. That's what we do. Does organization and local business schema, do you add company or product on all your pages schema? No, and I'll go to that in a second. So product, offer, service, reviews, these are other ones. Sometimes local businesses require these, and it helps a lot. I would put the product one, like on your homepage, you can have your products that are listed, or your offers or your services. You can have reviews if you have a module for a review. Now, I wouldn't have it the same thing on every page. If you have a page about a specific service, the product or a service schema should be about that page. So make sure you add it on every service page so that it's identified as the service page for that. And review, of course, whenever there's a real review, not something that you will, trick. You don't put reviews that are not real. Anything you do that is not real, you'll get penalized and it won't work. Dana said, curious how many people use HubSpot for their website. Soon, HubSpot has a possibility, positives and negatives. I'm going to tell you, Taylor, and answering you, Dana, we move people from WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, all kinds of technologies into HubSpot. Literally every week we're putting websites live. And the impact that we see, not just with SEO, AEO, and schema, but with their whole lead generation strategy, marketing, sales alignment, all the things we do through HubSpot. If you're using HubSpot, it makes absolutely no sense not to have your website in HubSpot. I'm gonna say that outright. We've been moving people to HubSpot, COS, then CMS, and now Content Hub for the last 10 years. And we're a 100% HubSpot website agency, and we will never go back to any of the other ones. We have had clients that went from WordPress to HubSpot. We brought them into HubSpot. They made the wrong decision to go back to WordPress, and we have brought them back to HubSpot because they suffer because of that. Yes, you can optimize other platforms. Yes, WordPress is super powerful, but if you don't do a lot of things and a lot of things right, anything could go wrong. An update could break your whole website. If you don't have a website team, it's not easy to manage it yourself. HubSpot will make all of that easier, and it'll make schema easier. And I can talk about that too. So more questions. This is great, guys. I love how interactive this is today. Do you need to use the article schema in every article or just in pillar pages? We'll talk about that. The article schema, it's every article. And by the way, HubSpot does that automatically for you. All pillar pages, all topic clusters, all blogs should have the article schema there. So does the schema option in Webflow check the box? You mean Webflow, the technology, the website technology? Yeah, careful with those. What happens when you use the website platforms out there that are online instead of having a true CMS is you're very limited with what you can do because you can't put schema manually. You're like, apply schema, and it's like, what does it do? So test it. Definitely test it, and I'll show you how. But I would definitely recommend, if you can, move your website to a true CMS, and if you can, move it to HubSpot, because the HubSpot Content Hub is way superior in all of these things. You have AI technology on top of it. We have case studies and testimonials where we show how their website grew incredibly. We were doing SEO already, and we put the website in HubSpot, and it grew much higher and faster. So I see you guys helping each other. This is great. My friend used without truly understanding how the data and ran into issues. Yeah, because you have platforms putting a bunch of schema that makes no sense, and then you have to pay for that. So you pay for it because you lose the ranking and everything. The schema should reflect the UI on the page. If the page has an FAQ, then you can add the FAQ schema. If the page has testimonial, exactly. David, that is true. You don't put the video schema where there's no video, but if there's a video, the video schema needs to be there. We'll talk about that in a second. It is exactly to what the page is. That's why you won't put a service schema on a blog article because that's not a service page, it's a blog article. So put the article schema, put the video schema, put the FAQ schema because the video and the FAQ are on the blog, but only if they are there in exactly the way that it is. When you use product versus service schema, that depends on what you're using. We utilize very academia forward language. Will that niche language affect how we found in AI? Yes, Christine, convince, and again, I don't know, maybe you are in academia and you are a college and you can't just have conversational content everywhere. But I'm going to tell you something. One of the things that we are teaching, and you can see it in the articles that I posted, conversational content is being cited more often in Q&A formats and short chunks of a question as an H2 and an answer with bullets, short paragraphs with bullets, with more conversational content, style content is cited more often. But again, if you're an engineer organization that is talking about, I don't know, like quantum physics, you're the MIT, then yes, you can have conversational content in some situations. But if you're very technical in that content, then you're not doing marketing. You're doing, academia content, and that's okay. Because if someone is asking very technical content, they will want the very technical answer to the content. Try to do it as conversational as possible. I'm having Dublin Core flashbacks. For example, we are mentoring software, but we don't market ourselves as that due to our ICP. Yeah, well, Christine, careful, because you might say we don't market ourselves because of our ICP, but AEO is still important because nobody's going to Google, I don't know, AI technology to recognize people on cameras, blah, 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 because maybe you're working with government or big organizations. But people are Googling, are having conversations with AI about your solution, about your software, about your competitors, about your pricing. So you still have to do AEO, and you still need to connect the dots with AEO and schema so AI can actually say the things that are on your website and not what other people think about it. So I'll keep going. This is great, guys. I love how everybody's asking questions. So why is this important? And I don't know if I miss anything. Be reasonable. Don't spam the schema. Then also use apps and themes and templates and tools that add the schema automatically. We use some review modules for some of our local businesses, like businesses that need local SEO, that add the schema automatically. So the reviews are being added as a schema without us doing absolutely anything. If you use blogs on HubSpot, that schema is being added automatically. So just use tools and modules and themes. Some themes in HubSpot already at the local business, the organization. We're having all of that, most of our themes added automatically. So that saves you a ton of time. So remember EEAT, guys, this is Google stuff. This is not, you can see the Google logo in the middle. This is not AI, but this applies incredibly to AI. If you were serious about Google, if you were serious about SEO, sorry, you were serious about EEAT. What is EAT? Experience, expertise, authoritatiness, and trustworthiness. You need authority, you need expertise, you need experience. How do you do that? And I believe the best way to do this is through creating video content, to creating webinars, to having human interactions. There's a big misunderstanding in marketing and sales and marketing agencies and all the shifts with AI, where people think that we need to add more robots to the equation. Yes, AI is important. AI is going to save you time. AI is going to save you from potentially hiring an expert person to do that thing. Yes, you can save money, time, create more value faster. You can go through loop marketing faster, for sure. But the people, the marketers that are going to win, the agencies that are going to win, the companies that are going to win are the companies that are going to be more human in 2026, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yes, use AI every day, but humans are buying your products. And the more you connect with humans, like what we're doing exactly right now, you asked me 100 questions already. You're my ideal clients. You're asking me questions. I'm answering. I take this webinar, I put it on social media, I put it on my website. It goes and turns into a blog. Then it turns into social posts with shorts. That's a content engine that creates the reality of who you actually are. And AI loves that because it loves EEAT. That connects the dot between my expertise, my experience, how I'm an authority because I can talk about these things because we do them every day, and how I'm trustworthy because people are asking me questions, I can answer them, and then there's a review, and there's a testimonial, et cetera, et cetera. So the human side is the most important side, exactly, the human in the middle. So why is this important? Because by setting up the organization schema and setting up the local business schema, if relevant, you're setting up your identity. You're telling AI who you are, what you do, where you operate, what you're connected with, your social networks and all that stuff. The article schema is your expertise. It's your blog posts, your guides, your pillar pages. It gives topic clarity. It gives, when these things are being published, the author. The author is super important. Go and beef up your author page. Put your social links, put your bio in there, put your picture, because AI needs to understand that you are that person connected to all these things. The schema needs to be there, and that then they can go into all those places to check for authority, to check that you're actually the real deal. So the author and the article work together beautifully. And if you're using HubSpot blogs, this is done all automatically. You don't have to do anything. And this is incredibly important for EEAT, as we were talking about. Then FAQs. I'm going to tell you something. I just did 2 weeks ago. This whole webinar series, the last one was all about the rise of FAQs and how FAQs are going to be incredibly important. Add them to blogs when it makes sense. Add them to your pages. I pause, and then I unpause to sneeze, and then I pause again. It worked exactly the opposite I wanted. Sorry about that. So thank you, guys. It's cold everywhere. It's cold. So FAQs are incredibly important. This is a webinar. This webinar is going to turn into a blog, and in that blog, trust me, I'm going to have a whole FAQ section with questions and answers that you ask me, that I answer. And this is literally the methodology they ask you answer. If you haven't read the book, go check it out. They have a new version now. We love this methodology. We use it for all of our clients. They ask you answers exactly what it sounds like. You answer your ideal client's questions. The bold ones, the ones that need courage, your pricing structure. Be as transparent as you can. If you don't have pricing, like I said before, AI is going to go find it somewhere else. And if someone's talking about your pricing, that's going to be your pricing. So be very, very careful. Be as open as possible. Include the FAQ schema on the blog that have it on all the pages, and that will help. Question, I can see how FAQs can be used for it. Yeah, of course. FAQs are Q&A. You have a question, you have an answer. That's exactly the structure that AI wants, Alex, is you're making it easier for AI to just take that and put it as the answer. It doesn't have to work at all. It doesn't want to work. So whatever it can take the information directly from a Q&A section, it will. Johnny, should add authors in the content is written by a third-party co-writer? It doesn't matter. Just select who the writer is in your organization, who's going to be the face of the content. And for example, we have multiple writers, multiple employees. Our videographers write about videos. Our content writers write about content and SEO. I write about more business, bigger AEO things. So whomever is the person, put them as the author, and then make sure that person says the same things on LinkedIn and on video, and connect the dots between it needs to be real. You can't fake it. So yes, it needs to be real. FAQ site-wide, not just traditional FAQ pages. Thanks. Yes, Christopher. Don't just create one FAQ page with all the questions, because that makes no sense. Yes, you can still have an FAQ page, but I don't know you guys, but for the last 2-3 years, we've been taking FAQ pages down and adding those FAQs to the service pages, to the About Us, to the homepage, because that's more impactful in those pages already. So the only thing you need to make sure is that the schema for that FAQ on that page is correct. Is there a schema checker you recommend? Oh man, David, we're getting right into it. So check, they ask you answer. The last one is your proof. So again, your identity for organizations, your expertise, your articles and your EAT, your answers with FAQ, and your with video. So this gives AI a full picture, and Google, of course. The more you do this, the better you do this, the better your Google ranking is going to be. If you're optimized for AI, your Google rankings are growing. That's for sure. So video tells you that you're real, that this is real humans doing real things, that there's expertise, that there's experience, that there's clients that are happy, there are audiences that are engaging. So when you're doing videos, include transcripts, include chapters. Make sure the schema is there for the videos. So people always ask me, oh, all my videos are on YouTube. What am I going to do? Well, add the schema. YouTube does not add schema to your website. You add schema to their website. They want their website to show up in Google. That's why when you're searching for a video, it sends you back to YouTube. It doesn't send you to your website with the same video embedded, because they don't want you to show up. They want to show up themselves, the platform. So if you're using YouTube videos, add the schema manually. Maybe there's some modules for that too. But you can use tools like HubSpot Video. If you're using HubSpot Video on your website, HubSpot Video adds the schema automatically. If you're using Wistia, which is one of our favorite video tools for webinars and for video marketing, Wistia adds the schema, and they have an LLM-friendly code that has the whole transcript of the video in the schema code. So actually, it's part of the page. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Check it out. So implementing schema with HubSpot, and without HubSpot, but with HubSpot is easier. First of all, why HubSpot makes it easier? I already said this in several ways. The blog is already done. The FAQs, like a lot of these things are done. If you're using the right modules and the right themes, it works and it's done, and you don't have to redo it again. So HubSpot makes it easier because a lot of it is going to be done. Now test again. Dana, you said we currently use Wistia and I've been updating. Yes, LLM friendly. This is beautiful. Careful, because if you have a 3-hour video and you put that whole transcript, it might dilute the ranking of that page, because then you have more transcript than content on your website. So keep an eye on that. But yes, LLM friendly codes by Wistia are a game changer for sure. Is there a schema checker? Yeah, we'll do that in a second, David. So HubSpot make it easier. Use ChatGPT. You want to create code? You don't need programmers. This is the beauty of the AI era. I don't need to program. I don't need to know how to program schema. What I do is I go and I say, I have these FAQs on my website page, and literally copy the same exact text. Do not change the text, because that is stuffing. That is cheating. And Google won't like it, and AI won't like it. Make sure the text is exactly the same on the question and the answer from the actual public website. And if you change it, change the schema too. Some modules do that automatically, so keep that in mind. Go ask, literally my question here was, turn this FAQ into schema. I didn't ask anything else. I put the whole thing. Then copy the code, and then you go to settings, general, and on the head HTML, you just paste it there. Another question we always get is like, oh, I already have a schema there for the organization. Do I have to like combine all the schema into one code because I have this video schema also, and I have that FAQ schema that I forgot to put? No, you can have multiple ones, multiple JSON schemas separately, and it is fine. It'll read it fine. You don't need to combine them. Again, super easy to do in HubSpot. Depending on your website platform, it might be different. WordPress is good about this. You can change the code too. You have a ton of modules that allow you to add schema directly, but this is the easiest way to do it in HubSpot. At the end of the day, you need to test. You need to understand what Google is seeing, and it's a great tool. If you actually Google test schema, literally the first result is going to be this. which is search google.com/test/rich results. And rich results is a website that you put the URL and it literally tells you what schema you have. And it'll tell you if there's errors, if the errors are critical or not. So test, and test again. You have to create the schema, apply the schema, and test the schema. There's no other way to do it. Don't just start copying, pasting code and forgetting, because again, ChatGPT can create some crap that doesn't make sense too. So always test the schema. And if it's not working, go back, do it again, do it with another tool. Test Claude. Claude is great for coding. Gemini is great for everything too. But test it, and test it again. The second thing is go to ChatGPT, go to Perplexity, go to Claude, go to Gemini, and ask the questions. Who is this company? And put the name of your company. What services do they provide? What is this topic? And put your topic for in this context, and see if you show up. If the narrative is the narrative you want it to be on AI. And when you find the gap, that's the content you're going to create. When you ask about pricing and it says, oh, I don't know, people say it's expensive. Whoa. We need to create an article about our pricing. We need to update our pricing page. We need to make sure the schema is right in the pricing page with all the services. Literally find the gaps by testing it yourself, asking AI, multiple different models, what they know about you. I obsess about this. I like, what is this company? What do they, about ourselves and about our client? Do they really know what they're doing? What is the proof? Like literally dig deeper, ask the questions a crazy person would ask and see how AI responds to it. And then go from there. Understand what AI is answering so you can go from there and change it, create content, add schema, etc. The AEO grader is amazing. I'm going to put the link here too. This is a HubSpot tool that they put together not a long time ago. I think it was a couple months ago. And now AEO grader is becoming part of HubSpot. If you have used the SEO strategy in the past, now it's turning into the AEO strategy, and it allows you to check in multiple LLMs how AI is seeing those entities. And it's asking you not your URL. It's like the name of your company, your services, your location. Those are entities. So it tells you how AI is seeing those entities connected to your business, and it gives you gaps and it gives you a lot of things. So test this. It's amazing, amazing tool. HubSpot, like I said, you can do it all inside HubSpot now. And this is our 30-day schema AEO action plan. So week 1, audit existing schema, fix organization and local business, like see what's there, what's not there. Then week 2, add article schema if it's not present. You should have it if you're using a reputable blog system like HubSpot or WordPress. Start adding FAQ page schema to all the top pages, all your top blogs. Just start with your top 10 blogs, top 10 main pages. That will make a huge impact already. Week 3, add VideoObject. Every time there's a video, there has to be a VideoObject. Go back to all your legacy blog posts and update all the schema you can. That will make a huge difference. Just go to the ones that have the most visits and the ones that have the most impact in lead generation or customer closing. Week 4, product, offer, service, review, all the other ones. See what else you can add. Test across AI and the AEO grader and identify more gaps. And then repeat. Do it again. So key takeaways: AI can't trust what it can't understand. Schema teaches machines who you are. Clarity beats complexity in AEO. And the brands that win are the ones AI can explain confidently. And I'm going to say it again. The people that win, thank you, Taylor, are the people that are going to be human. I just literally finished. Rate this session. Tell us 1 to 10 how we did. I want to know how else we can make these better. I'm sharing there the links from our pages, from our AEO guide, from our webinars. These are the 2 events coming in the next month. And if you want to connect with me, here's my email address. LinkedIn, Gabriel at nextinym.com. Thank you, guys. 10.5, that's beautiful. Martin, any questions, guys? I'm here to help. Of course, we have, like I said, next events coming. I just share the links. We can help you guys. We're here to help. We have that SEO AEO guide. You can download this one for free. I just share that link. I would definitely recommend, if you're seriously doing this, this is a guide to download for sure. I just shared it again. And if you want, you can definitely do an audit. This is the best way to start working with us on this. There's a special that you can do, and I'm here to help. Any questions, guys? You want to come off mute? You want to put it in the chat? I'm here to help. Again, thank you for all the 10s. 10.45. Oh, people are fighting for making it bigger than 10. This is awesome, guys. Like I said, stay connected. Let me know how I can help. We're figuring these things together. Any questions? You want to put it on the chat? You want to come off mute? I'm here. So Todd, with the AEO tracker, we were strong with 2 of the engines and weaker on another one. What can we do to make that particular one better? Oh, great. You have, like, let's say Perplexity is not showing anything. Go deeper. Go to Perplexity and ask the questions. Put those entities and compare the question and the answer with AI, with other AI models. Like, just remember this. When AI asks the question, when you say the question, how does, this was an example the other day. I watched a whole presentation by Rand Fishkin, and they had a guy that knows a lot about this and a lot about the technical stuff. And he was saying, when you ask AI how to run a marathon in September in New York City, AI doesn't put that query on the database. It says how to run a marathon, how to run in New York City. Give me a list of top 10 things that I need to run a marathon. How to prepare for a marathon. Products to buy before preparing for a marathon. How to prepare psychologically for running. Like, literally, it fans out all the different questions. And sometimes AI will give you that data. APIs with AI, there's some tools being developed right now that will give you this information. But for now, try to understand how AI is asking those questions by understanding the answer. If you go to Google, for example, and you Google something, the Google AI preview will show you different answers. Like, it'll show you, like, you have like titles with little sections, and each one of them has a little link. So that's a source. That means that's a fan out queries that were asked when asked about this whole thing. So by understanding what those other related questions were asked, then you can understand what content you don't have. That's the gap that you can write about or add in that article or talk about. So try to understand the other queries that are related. And the best example to this is when you went to Google and you search for something, and at the bottom of Google, it says people also search. Remember, we use this for SEO all the time. The people also search are the fan out questions. So this is a good way to understand what are related things you need to explain and answer so you show up on that specific model, because different models will ask different questions and we'll get different answers. Did that help, Todd? Awesome. Charlene, can you go back to the slide with your info and picture? Yes, my info and picture right there. And right here is my information with my website. There you go. And that's who we are, Nextiny Marketing. Thank you very much. I put it on the chat also. Just register for the remainder of the webinars. Yeah, and by the way, we're going to keep doing these webinars, two a month. So the next 2 are already scheduled, and next week we're scheduling March and April. So we're going to keep doing them. Last one was about FAQs. The next one's about videos. We're going to be talking about how AI sees the world and how Google sees the world. Bailey, while AI is helpful as a tool, my team wants to produce only AI produced content pieces. I'm with you. Don't let them. from your expertise, do you feel as though these needs to be a content strategy and human thought? Yes, while being able to produce content at a good clip in order to show up in AI. I'm going to tell you something. Google and AI will always prefer real content than perfect content or fast content. This was from before, creating a lot of content didn't get you on Google. Yes, maybe 10 years ago or 15 years ago, whenever Google started, you could keyword stuff and you could say a bunch of keywords. You didn't even need to write text and you would show up. You could put them on the footer. That became keyword stuffing. I'm going to tell you something. One of the first things we do in an AEO audit is use Zero GPT. I'm going to send the link right here. This is an easy and free tool you can use to test how much AI created this piece of content is, this page is. You can just copy paste. Yes, AI knows it's seeing AI. AI understands this is content written by AI, and Zero GPT is the way to test it. Now, you will not be able to get to zero AI created content. If we see 20%, 30%, 50%, that's fine, because you're using AI as a tool. You're using AI as your editor. You're using AI. I'm English as a second language. I speak Spanish first, English second. So when I write, my English is not college level ever, and it probably will never be. So if I need to write with authority, I can't. So for me, this is great because I can write however I want, put it on AI, and then AI rewrites it. And that piece of content usually shows as 20%, 30% AI because it came from me. You want to know the easiest and best way to do that, to create a fuel for your content engine? The very thing we're doing right now. Webinars and videos are the most real thing you can do because you have a video to prove it that you can put on your blog, and then turn that video transcript into a blog. You literally throw the transcript on ChatGPT and say, create a blog from this. That will be 10% AI. Even though AI wrote the whole thing, it came from you. It didn't came from what AI was trained on. It's my opinion. It's my experience. It's me, a human, talking to you, Bailey, another human. So definitely the human aspect is going to be the most important, especially when it is so easy to create crap every day. I am going to assure you, Bailey, most people in the world are going to create crap. Most artists I talk about this with my kids. I have 2 filmmakers and 1 music technology major. They are artists and they were worried about AI. And the answer is the same one to marketers. AI can create videos. AI can create movies. AI can create music. Is that going to make me cry? Is that going to make me relate? Probably not. And the world will create crap music, crap films, and crap marketing content all the time because it's easier and cheaper. And a lot of CEOs are going to push for easier and cheaper, and for AI agents to replace the humans in your marketing and sales organizations. I can tell you, those are going to be the losers at the end of the day. People that win, marketing teams that win, businesses that win are going to be the human businesses that have human connections and take that and use AI as an acceleration tool, not as a creation tool. Your opinion matters. Your expertise matters. That's what EEAT is all about. EEAT doesn't exist if you're just regurgitating crap from AI. And we have seen website after website with problems because they just use 100% or 98% AI-generated content. Definitely not good. Christopher, so up to 50% is not penalized. I don't know the number. I wouldn't worry if it's below 50. If it's above 50, do something about it, right? Like, and not every page has to be perfect. Like SEO, not every page had an H1 tag and have a meta tags. And like, If you have done SEO at all over the years, any of you, you know, you go to the list of things you need to do, and there's always 1,000 things you can do. SEO was never about being perfect. It's about being the cleanest, the easiest, the better for Google to read it. We're doing the same thing with AI. So just go one by one, focus on the impactful pages, focus on the impactful blog articles. And if you got crap articles from the past, you can leave them there. In the future, you can write better content. But what's important is the most impactful stuff. Thank you. Appreciate it. Glad I'm not alone. Yeah, Bailey, you're not alone. Acceleration versus creation. Love it. Yes. AI is your accelerator. AI is not your differentiator. You, as a human, is your differentiator. Your humanity, your reality is what makes you special. AI can just allow you to run faster loops. That's why HubSpot came up with the loop and loop marketing. It's a great way to explain what we're going through. You need to be able to run faster loops. I run a webinar, I take that transcript, I put it on ChatGPT or HubSpot AI, I create a blog article, I post it, I take chunks with Wistia of that video with AI to do little posts on LinkedIn, and that is all run by me, the AEO, without a marketing team. My marketing team, you know what they're doing? They're serving our clients instead of doing all the things I want them to do. I can run my own loops because AI exists. I can write content that looks perfect, that sounds perfect, and I can test it and test it and test it and say, AI, rate this content. How good is it for humans? Is there flow? How good is it for Google? Are the keywords and the H1 tags, is everything there? Is the schema correct? Can you read the schema? ChatGPT can do all those things for you. Use AI as the accelerator, but it has to come from humans. Guys, people and companies that will win are the people that make it human and put humans first and use technology to accelerate it. Any other questions, guys? I can stay here forever. As you can see, I know people have to go do their things, have meetings, have dinner, have breakfast, whatever you are. If you're in Norway, probably dinner. If you're in California, you're having lunch. Anything else, guys? Any other questions? You can come off mute too, or if you want to ask any other questions, go ahead. If not, I hope you have a great week. Let me know if you have any questions. I shared my information several times. More than happy to have meetings with you guys about these things. We can do an audit. And good luck out there. I'll see you on the next one. We'll talk about how to use AI, how to use video to become the answer in AI and create those trust signals with AI. So see you soon and stay in touch, okay? Take care. Have a good one.